What's going on, guys? It's Roy Robles from Zigwheels PH, and with me today we have Kap Aguila, also from Zigwheels PH, and we're here to tell you more about the upcoming Subaru BRZ and the GR86. How are you doing today, Kap?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm really stoked to do this with you, Roy.
Right, right. As you can see in our previous videos, Cap used to do all our reaction videos, but now he's got a partner in crime. So we're going to go ahead and check out all these videos with you together. We're going to see what's going on with the new Subaru BRZ and what's new with it from the previous model, as well as the upcoming GR86. So what we'll be doing is we'll watch some videos, and then we'll give you our thoughts later on. So first, let's watch this video about the Subaru BRZ. Oh. Subaru's going all out with the motorsports. I think Subaru's going all out with the motorsport heritage and driving sideways on the new BRZ. Yes, I think they really wanted to point out that it has more horsepower.
Yeah, I think you're right. As maybe the message here is, yeah, as you said, they're trying to leverage some motorsport heritage here, because you have to bear in mind that Toyota's, of course, it's the GR86. It's a sibling, right? Basically of the BRZ,
Yes.
but you have to also note that it now comes with that prefix GR, meaning Gazoo Racing, meaning Toyota's really going all in on this as far as positioning, because of course we know that Gazoo Racing is now being touted as sort of like a halo sub brand within Toyota, and that probably embodies all of their motorsports and racing aspirations and heritage. So yeah, I think Subaru needs to also do that, or else they just be swept aside by the fact that the GR86 has all this going for it.
That's right. I'm glad you mentioned Gazoo Racing because I think they're really Toyota at least is going all out and trying to promote this new sporty sub brand of theirs. And you're right. I think Subaru has to keep up with this. I mean, we all know Subaru with the WRX, the SDI, but I think they're more known for WRC racing. So I think they do have to show this out. And I think all these points we'll be discussing all these points later on and see that the GR86 and the BRZ are more than just twins and are actually competing for your hard-earned money. And what are the differences that they have with each other despite their similarities?
Yeah, just to add to your point, no, I was able to actually ask directly Toyota Motor Philippines during the launch of the Vios GRS recently. the Gazoo Racing brand has been actually out for a while, and I've been asking this quite a while actually about like what does this mean for Toyota Racing Development or TRD. We finally have a definitive statement which they answered at the aforementioned BIOS GRS launch, and that is there will no longer be a TRD to speak of, which
Oh,
means
okay.
the GR brand will be rolling out very earnestly in the country, and they will put a stop to TRD. So goodbye to to that sub
Long,
brand, and
long
hello
live
to Gazoo
TRD.
Racing. Yes, long live TRD.
Yes. I think it's going to take some time for me personally to look at this, but with the way they're releasing their GR branded models, I think it's going to be a smooth transition. We're not going to miss TRD that much. So before we watch the other video, taking a sneak peek at the GR86, let's give a quick background of how this all started. Right? I mean, back in the 80s, back in the 90s, Toyota in particular was very popular, very big on their sporty coupe models. Right? You got the Celica, you got the Supra, you got the GT86, and even the MRS. I believe that's called their big three of sporty race coupe cars back then. I believe that the last model that they released in the 90s or in the 2000s was the Celica, and then after that they just went on and made practical and family oriented cars. But do you remember back before when the GT86 was released, was there much demand clamor for Toyota to release one of another sporty coupe?
Well, of course, yeah. All those models that you mentioned, these are like classics. And to your point, yes, you're right that back then probably Toyota was more known for those models and their sporty heritage actually. So there was a big gap from those days to today, if you really think about it. In fact, you mentioned the Supra. Did you know that the last version of the Supra appeared almost 2 decades
All right.
after or before the new Supra, the GR Supra, was released? So there was this sort of void that happened in the interim. So yes, going back to what you said, no, I think yes, probably Toyota was more into the its sporty lineage or sporty releases before during those days, before when we were well when I was much younger probably. Maybe the point I'm trying to make is now because actually I think primarily because of its president and CEO Akio Toyoda, Toyota is now facing its or maybe trying to relive and actually surpass those, shall we say, happier, sportier days.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so that's probably what I see in all of this.
You got to appreciate what they're doing and reaching out to the fans, despite the fact of them earning a lot out of their current family-oriented lineup. So I guess, and now we're here. Now we're at the precipice of a new model from Toyota, the GR86. I can't wait to get my hands on this. So, but first, let's take a quick look at this video. It's a long one,
Yeah,
but we're not going to watch the entire
yeah, that's the
video.
long video. Yeah.
Yeah, just the first part
Okay.
where they're showing the car. Let's stop at the 2 minute and 30 second mark of that video. You know, back a few months ago, I believe I read an article where Akio Toyoda himself he wants to delay the release of the GR86 because he says, well, he didn't say it outright that it looks too much like the Subaru BRZ, but he says that he wants to add a bit more ingredients to it to make it more Toyota, right? I mean, and now I think I understand why, because because it looks so much like the BRZ. Find the distinct differences between the current GR86 and the BRZ. What do you think about that, Cap?
The two are actually as similar as probably the previous generation was or were. And I think the main differentiator for the two would be the front. where you have the BRZ's smiling,
It
what do you
looks like
call
a
it,
smiling
smiling
face.
grill. Yeah, and then Toyota looks like it looks like it's more it's just a gape,
That's
like a
true.
mouth and a gape mouth. Basically, the profile and everything else, particularly the rear, with the similar looking C-shaped tail lamps,
Yes, the tail lamp.
basically identical. Yes.
And apart from the color, the classic blue and the red, just like the last time, it's you're gonna be really hard pressed to look and find all the things that make each one different. So I'm not. I'd probably be expecting the release or the production GR86 to have a little bit more differences, but again, these are pretty much the same cars from two different companies who work together and to develop this. So I don't think there will be much differences again like the last time. But I think they can add a few more or a few more things there. Even the wheels are the same on this one. So I think this is just those wheels are just placeholders maybe. So yeah, we'll we'll definitely see what else Toyota can do for this. Now, one more thing about the first generation GT86 and the BRZ. Uh, people used to criticize the first generation models as being underpowered. Despite their performance aspirations, they only had a 2-liter boxer engine, which is a good engine. Don't get me wrong; it's a really good engine. But people criticize it for being underpowered. It was just 200 horsepower and wasn't really fun. They say it wasn't fun. I tried out driving the GT86 and the BRZ, and I think it's plenty fun. But what do you think these guys are looking for in the sports car? Do they want more? Of course, people want more power. And have you driven either of these before? The first generation cars.
I drove well the Toyotas. I drove the Toyotas, both the automatic and the manual. I think it's I don't know what these people who are dissing it are expecting, but they're a lot of fun. I mean, at the price point, they're a lot of fun. Particularly the manual. I pretty much enjoyed pushing the manual because, of course, for obvious reasons that you can play with it more and you can rev it up more. Actually, I have a friend who says that he really wants to get one, and this friend of mine is a Porsche fan, and
Hmm.
this only shows that the kind of benchmark probably that Toyota has or and Subaru have established for themselves with the release of this car. Probably if you have a lot more expectations, then you should be ready to pony up the dough.
Well, they got it. I mean, Toyota and Subaru was able to release this next generation BRZ and GR86 with more horsepower and a bigger engine, 2.4 liters over the 2-liter of the previous generation, and it has 28 more horsepower. So I think that's going to be that's going to satisfy a lot of the and silence the critics from the previous generation. Now, the thing about this car, this particular model, why do you think Toyota approached Subaru to help them out with developing these two cars? I mean, of course, we know Toyota has a stake in Subaru, but why do you think they chose a boxer engine in particular?
First of all, partnerships among car companies is nothing new, particularly these days. Of course, as people, want to, well, let's just give it. The bottom line here is that people want to save and probably leverage on partnerships as much as possible. Having said that, yes, to your point, of course, they have a stake in Subaru. So, and again, what you said also earlier, Subaru also has a very good history, particularly in motorsports. So and the boxer engine in particular. So I think it makes sense for Toyota to probably not reinvent the wheel here and leverage the strength of its partner. And yeah, I think it serves them well to have chosen Subaru to partner for the 86 and the BRZ.
That those are all good points, but I think apart from Toyota having a stake at Subaru, is that they're actually at a good position because Subaru is well known for that boxer engine, and if you have that boxer engine layout on your sports car, the weight distribution would be so much better because it's slung lower to the ground than conventional inline four engines. So I think everything went well for Toyota in this case and Subaru because Toyota has the big bucks to actually develop these types of cars. What do you think of the looks of the new GR86 and BRZ over the previous model?
I think the basic profile is the same, which, depending on how you look at it, is probably good or bad. There's actually no big jump as far as the looks are concerned. I think they merely tweaked something here and there. Probably the biggest change would be looks wise, would be at the rear. But having said that, I sort of like the GT 86 rear. But as far as something probably revolutionary, or like they probably broke the mold, they didn't break the mold. It's just a logical evolution of how we probably would like the 86, the GR86 and the BRZ to look.
You're right, Cap. To your point, I see that they have basically the same shape. I'm thinking that their size the same, but if you look at those fender flares, I think they're a bit more muscular this time around compared to the last model. It actually gives me, especially the video of the BRZ, it gives me RX-8 vibes when it comes to the front. You see all the front fender flares bulging out of the headlamps, and I think it's going to be exciting to see it in the flesh in the metal. Now, to that point, since the GR86 and the BRZ is more of an evolutionary step than a revolutionary one, do you think that the current model GT86 and BRZ are still good buys for customers if they want to go out in the market for one?
Oh, definitely. I'm not sure or aware as to the prices of those right now, but definitely if you have the opportunity to get one that's been taken care of course, not a lot of kilometers on it, then I would get one probably. Yeah, why not?
You're right. I think it's actually for me personally. I think it's the best time actually to go out in the market and grab one. You'll probably find one in good condition. People don't drive these cars every day anyway. Just be careful for those overly modified units. If I actually had one, I'd be modifying it to no end. But if you can find one that's been properly taken care of, kept stocked, and didn't take it out on that track every weekend, I think it's a good buy.
You'd be hard pressed to find something as good in this price point. You can't do much better than getting the GR86 or the BRZ.
And I think that's part of the reason why Toyota and Subaru is. Well, I'm not saying that they're experiencing hate. I'm just saying that there are some critics out there saying that these cars are nerfed down versions of actual sports cars. But I think that's what both these companies did to the market. They created some sort of disruption in the market, saying that you don't have to spend more than 5 million pesos or above, or even 3 million pesos to enjoy a good sporty coupe. And you can go ahead and check out their own models. I think that's where the hate comes from. They democratize sports cars. That's a good point that you said earlier, Cap. If you don't like or if you don't appreciate Toyota cars, you you must like having headaches a lot. But it's just, you're missing out on a lot with Toyota. Especially these days, with Akio Toyoda's sweeping declaration of no more boring cars. So just for our closing points, Cap, if you had your pick, if you had a direct line to Akio Toyoda, and he asked you, what do you want to see in the next GR86 and Subaru BRZ?
You have to remember, when you look at the GR86 or the 86 for that matter, you have to remember that Toyota also has the Supra, the GR Supra. So anything that I would think of as a wish list for the 86 might
Yes.
already have been answered in the Supra. I had the chance to drive both models, and I think the Supra is just in a class of its own. I know that some people might say that the Supra is just a more expensive version of the 86, but I think that's a little far from the truth. To your point earlier, that Toyota partnered with Subaru. This time they partnered with BMW for BMW's noted straight or inline six cylinders for the engine for this Supra, which also of course is the Supra is to the Z4 or Z4 as the GR86 is to the BRZ. Okay. Now going back to your question of what would be in my wish list, I am very conscious, of course, that my wish list shouldn't be for the 86 to look like a Supra or have the features of a Supra, because you have to remember that this wish list, well, at least my wish list would be for the 86 to keep its price point. It's very relatively affordable price point. So probably I would like to see Akio Toyoda like really sort of revolutionize or maybe do some more tweaking on the looks. I don't know how that will look. I wanted I want him to be more playful with the model, as far as probably surprising us with how it will look in the future, the next iteration of it. I wouldn't want for, let's say, more space, because that's totally out of the question, because this is a sports car.
It's a sports
I
car.
wouldn't want for a spare tire, because again, this is a sports car, so
That's
it's
more
gonna
weight.
add to the weight. Yeah. So these are things that probably the normal or more practical people would think of as their wish list for this car. But you don't buy an 86 so you can, go to the groceries with it, or do the groceries with it, or be a plantito and deliver a plant or pick up a plant. No, this is just basically meant for you to enjoy driving, whether on a track or on the road. Sorry for that roundabout way of answering you, but that's probably, I'm trying to manage people's expectations also, probably with the 86, and to be more realistic. Maybe, yeah, I would want Toyota San to surprise me with what the or how with how the 86 can look in the future.
And you're right. If they add any more stuff to it, it's just gonna get more expensive. And I remember that the point of creating these types of sports cars is just for the pure hell fun of it, right? Just chucking it around. Doesn't have to be too fast, just to make you one with the road, right? All right. So before we wrap this up, Cap, do you have any final thoughts about the GR86 and the Subaru BRZ?
As for my choice, it would be the GR86. At least from what I saw on the video, definitely I love the red color. I think we've come to brand with the red color, and even the exterior. I think the GR86, because of the red stitching and all those touches inside, they kind of won over the BRZ, because the blue and then the red stitching inside, they sort of didn't match.
Yeah.
So in that regard, I would choose the GR86, and I can't wait to get behind the wheel of that one.
So I'm definitely going for the Subaru BRZ. Like I said, who knows Subaru best than Subaru itself? I mean, Toyota just went ahead and applied that boxer engine to their GR86. So I think I'm going with the BRZ this time around. And to your point, saying about mismatching colors, having the blue exterior and the red interior. Well, Subaru's never been about matching colors. Their performance badge is actually a pink Star of Pleiades, right? So they don't give 2 cents, or they don't give two anythings about matching colors. So I like that. Probably be replacing that blue badge with a pink badge. So yeah, just for that alone, I'm going with the BRZ. So there we have it, folks. The all-new Subaru BRZ and Toyota GR86. What do you think about these all-new models? Would you be driving home with one? Leave us a line at the comment section down below. And if you want to be notified whenever we upload a new video, hit that subscribe button. Make sure that you click on that notification icon next to it, so that you know when we upload a new video. We almost do this every week, right, Cap? So we've got a lot of videos coming up for you, and I hope that you enjoy all of them. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you again next time. Peace.